Podcast and 1130 Entertainment presents Beyond 1130.
Yo, what it do, everybody, man? It's Thursday. It's beyond 11:30, man. Grown folks are talking. It's time for the show, you guys, man. Welcome everyone to a new episode 6 of Beyond 11:30. Appreciate everyone tuning in, man. We live here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, X, all the social media platforms. Appreciate everyone tuning in. It's gonna be a great show, man. We're gonna keep the Beyond 11:30 vibes going on, man. If you're new to the podcast and you haven't done so already, I gotta remind you guys, man, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Like it, leave a comment, and share it, do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. All right, now that's out the way, man. Another day in the books, man. It's been a long one, but I'm excited for Beyond 1130. Got the crew here with me, man, for real. Got the crew here with me. My guy Brian B, the host of the Beeline Entertainment, man. We always chatting it up, and of course, the wonderful Harley. We're gonna bring on Harley right now. Harley, what's going on with you?
Hey, Dre. Hey, everybody. It is so good to be here. It's so dope. I think, we got 2 more episodes.
Yes, we do.
A year ago was my very first Beyond 1130 episode. So happy anniversary to me and Beyond 1130.
Hey, congratulations! I appreciate you. This has definitely been an awesome season of Beyond 1130, man. Been having some amazing guests joining in, and of course, like I said, my guy Brian B. Those are the Beeline Entertainment. What's going on, my guy?
What's good, y'all? Check it out, man. Like you said, today's been actually. It hasn't been a bad day. It's been alright. Today's been alright. Yeah, I'm ready to talk some shit, yo, for sure.
Okay, yeah, man. Today been cool, man. It's Thursday, Beyond 11:30. We ain't gonna waste no more time. We're gonna jump into it. A conversation, you guys, we were having right before we went on, we went live and stuff. My guy Brian brought it up, man, just about so much stuff that's going on in the world, man. You know, yeah, we got inflation, and we got just so much stuff, from you can't even keep up with it. But
Bro.
the some of the stuff that's under the surface. Now, a lot of people, if not, I know some people were experiencing some of the difficulties with the cell phone situation. How did that go for y'all today? And what you think was going on in the world? And Brian, you could tap into that.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. Listen, y'all. Like, we was just kind of like powwowing about it, when I first started. Like one of the things, people all over, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. And me and Harley was just talking about, like, a lot of times people say stuff like that, like, oh, this world is crazy. Or you hear people with the cliche, kind of funny, like, comebacks or whatever, like, man, I'm moving, I'm tired of it here, and all this other shit. But I think a lot of times, a lot of that stuff is focused around, like, a lot of your life, like, your shit's going wrong. Maybe like Dre said, inflation. You buy a carton of eggs back up to $13 damn. I don't know where that just came from out of nowhere again. But
Exactly.
but literally, man, how many of us really know what's going on? Like, how many of us are really, really paying attention? Not just the news and what you watching on CNN and all that shit. I'm talking about like the people who actually do their work, where they really do their due diligence and check out the little sites where it's like, holy shit, they saying that, what's going on? Or the little podcasts where the people is really, digging into the dirt and really finding out, going on the street and really reporting and shit like that. Like, listen, man, this outage that just happened recently with the cell phones and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of conspiracy around it. But at the end of the day, it's definitely something going on. It's definitely something going on. If there ever was a time for people to really start kind of, maybe getting out of your bubble at least a little bit, I can honestly say I think that right now is that time. Now, it is an election year. It is a lot of stuff going on around. And I don't talk like this. I'm not even one of them dudes, like literally, like I'm not one of them guys. But it's starting to get to the point where you can't ignore the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally are just, it's consistent with all these, people that are coming across the borders and, like, military ready, men and aged men and stuff. And you don't know what's going on right now. And if you're paying attention, like, the news would scare the shit out of you. But at the same time, that's not a reason to, put your head in the sand and try to wait for everything to be over. Like, you kind of got to know what's going on. And now shit is actively happening.
Do you guys have an idea of maybe what's going on? And me and Brian talked about the movie that came out last year. I believe it was Leave the World Behind,
For
where
real.
in just in moments of the movie, shit, it was a cyber attack. All the phones went down, cell phones, internet, and all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's just it makes you think, just like at what
It,
point are we in,
I
in
was
all
at
of
the
this?
Matrix. The beginning of the Matrix, and that movie was written in the '90s. Was what cyber attack, and we just got to think about it. Like we have to think about all of these movies. Like people think I'm so crazy, but I don't have an Alexa in my house.
Oh shit.
Because I
I don't
watched
either.
the movie Smart House on Disney Channel as a little girl, and was just like, yeah, when this starts happening, it's gonna take some time to get to me. So there is still, even though I'm pretty sure I'm pretty young and people are like, you are a fool, or maybe they don't, I have a landline. And so when cell phones went down today, I work from home, so I didn't even know that they were down because I operate off Wi-Fi all day, so I wouldn't have even known until my mom told me. And I was like, okay, cool. It didn't stop my day-to-day life, but I truly believe that like the movie Stepford Wives was made. I think we talked about this before. The movie Stepford Wives was made in like 2004. I believe that there are towns where there are actual people living with cyborg partners because they got tired or exhausted with human existence and human to human connection,
Oh
and
yeah.
the weight of human to human connection. I think that it is important to be aware because awareness is power, but I don't think that you have to subscribe if you don't want to. So I halfway agree with you, Brian. I believe that you can poke your head out of the sand to know what's going on, but I am 100% committed to my bubble. I am 100% committed to my own piece of paradise, and I am 100% committed to becoming as sovereign as possible.
Yeah.
So you can leave me the fuck alone. So whatever y'all decide to
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
But
Hardy,
you know,
like I don't give a fuck about what's going on. Look here, look here. It ain't
Yeah.
it ain't bothering me though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that mentality too, and it's not a bad one. Yeah, a lot of information is taken, by a lot of different personality types as well. That's something that you do have to factor in. I saw Eric had just posted on there, and he said for a second, he said sometimes we need to shut the media off because we get so much stuff at the push of a button directly, man.
Mhm.
Like shit comes directly to us wherever you are on the planet. You pick it up, you're gonna receive it. And
Yeah.
the continuous, information is definitely like you said, Harley. It's easy to say shut it off, but at the end of the day, you still have the knowledge that it's off. It's not like you shutting it off and you're like, oh nope, now everything's gone. I don't even know that it exists anymore. No, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to ignore that person who's poking you, okay, I'm just gonna act like you're not there. It's there still. You know what I'm saying? So it's like as soon as you turn it on, them fucking notifications and everything else gonna flash and blow that shit up, and then you go, whoa, shit.
it's
You
like
thought you
the
were
scene
over
of Bruce Almighty when Bruce was trying to quiet the prayers.
for real. Exactly,
All
exactly.
this shit
Mhm.
just kept coming.
Hell yeah.
That's literally what I look at the internet as. Like
Yeah.
even when you tap, like I'll unplug for a weekend, and even when you unplug, your family they're still plugged in, your friends are still plugged in. So
Yeah.
as soon as you get back, it's like it's almost a blessing and a curse. Is a double-edged sword because if you unplug, then you come back and there's this overload of like, oh. But then if you're there, it's like, damn, I'm plugged in so long, I almost become accepting of it. And so it's like you have to just you got to find your sweet spot. And I jokingly
Balance.
said to the fellas before we went on live, I'm like, that's why I indulge a lot and I don't have a lot of regrets because if some shit go boom in the middle of my life, I'm gonna hit one of these and I know I'm on my way out. I'm good. Like, because we just never know. You don't have tomorrow. You just don't.
Yeah. And Dre, like
Yeah.
you were saying, like, you were actually the one that told me about that, what the fuck is it? I always forget the
Oh, the
name.
leave the world behind.
Leave the world behind. You were the one who told me about that. And I don't know who knows this or if this is known information. I'm pretty sure it is. I know people say it. But that movie was actually written by the people that were in the Obama administration. To my
Hmm.
knowledge. So yeah, it's actually stuff gained from information from that. Let me say it like that. I think that's the better way to say it. But whatever, there's a connection like you were saying. And one of the things that I heard about today, somebody was like describing, like, there's a lot of people talk shit. That's why I'm saying you can't just watch one thing and just, oh, I know everything. You got to listen to a lot of shit, and then you got to kind of
Hmm.
filter out and just decide what kind of makes sense for you, and then you do more studying if you want to go that deep. But at
Mhm.
the same time, like, somebody said, hey, if an EMP goes off, EMP is a electronically modified pulse or some shit, something like that. Basically, an EMP attack or a cyber attack, what everybody's saying, or like something like that. It destroys electrical components. If I'm saying, I have no fucking idea. I'm just telling you best way I can explain it. An EMP attack destroys electrical components, like your cell phone device, stuff like that, or whatever is getting whatever. Somebody correct me, whatever. I don't care. But it destroys it. So you can't even turn that bitch back on, even if you do. That's why a lot of people that think that solar panels and stuff like that are going to be sufficient, it's going to work, or whatever, it destroys that shit. So you can't even, there's a chance at least that you might not even be able to use that. But this guy he said, if an EMP attack was to happen, a lot of people was like, fuck my phone or whatever. We was in the 90s. We lived through it. But the thing is, like we were just talking about, the world is so connected now that even things like airplanes,
the cars.
I think the guy said it was 2,000 airplanes or commercial airplanes are in the skies now. That if there was some kind of like electrical modified attack or whatever, they fall out the sky. That's death right there from above. That's instantly shit. Like you said, the electronic cars and different things of the crashes, it would instantly be devastation just in those areas. So that's why it's like, and I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything. I'm just trying to like,
no, shit. If you ain't,
like,
if you don't know by now, then I don't know.
All the time, don't take one. Like for me, like I don't take one point. Like even when I read books. So back when, because I'm a person who I like to touch my books. I have not gotten a Kindle, and I live by not getting a Kindle. I go to Barnes and Noble. Yeah. I will read a book, and then I will read the contrasting book. Because if you think that you're going to live in one plane of thought, in one like lane of consciousness without knowing their opposer, you are setting yourself up for like a one-dimensional life, first of all, and second of all, to like lose. So like if I read a book that is strongly to the left, I'm gonna next read a book that's strongly to the right and find myself in a place in the middle that works for me individually.
Exactly.
So
I firmly agree with that.
Up and this house, and if everything happens, at least I'm standing somewhere between crazy as fuck and sane as fuck that I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I think that that's the way that you have to take in information, and you can't allow people just to tell you what shit is without you figuring it out. A lot of times it's going to be people who are like smarter than you, in the area. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to, even the stuff I'm talking about now. But I do know how to get the information that I'm getting, and I know how to deliver it the way that I can deliver it in a standpoint to where I'm like, I don't know, but I do know this. I don't know that, but I do know this. You know what I'm saying? I could put it together enough to understand the concept. And that's what I'm getting. And it's like, with all these, migrants and stuff like that are crossing the borders, and they're just being allowed to cross the borders. And, you're hearing this stuff now where they're saying there's like, Chinese fucking, militants that are actually active in the U.S. last 10, 5, 15 years, whatever. There's people literally shutting down schools, bus stations, fucking hotels to house these fucking, people that are coming and crossing the border just willingly. Like, it just
police stations. The police stations in Chicago.
Crazy, yo. That shit is crazy.
Small villages of people from like Venezuela or somewhere, and then now they're at a point where they're paying people monthly to like house someone. I'm not about to house nobody that I don't know, whose language I don't speak. And that's another thing that we have to also understand is that we live in a country that is highly in debt, that is a big ass bully, that is unnecessarily finding itself on people, that does shit, that pokes at other people, and then when people come and bother us, we're like, oh, we got to protect American soil. But we also got to remember that America is a broke bitch. Excuse my language.
Hey, America's got a lot of shit with it, man. I don't know.
She is a broke,
I don't trust none of this shit no more, yo.
And we got to understand that, like, one of the things that I heard and I stand by my whole life is like, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Like, your eyes are not even
telling you the right shit.
You truly trust. And that's the reason why, like, I believe everything and nothing. Like, I believe everything is possible, and I also am skeptical of everything that I hear, because it's just like
great way to depict it, because that's how I said this shit on the show. Like, I can't remember, like, I can't remember what it was, but it made me say I don't believe shit. I still believe everything. Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy fucking mentality, because it's like you understand that anything is possible, but at the same time, if people bring it to you, you're like, I don't fucking believe that shit until I believe it. That's a great way to say it, man, because that really is how you have to be in this world where there's endless information, but no kind of like, concept grasping or like, rationalization. It's just shit that's thrown at you when you're forced to fucking understand it and compute it, but you can't really do that if you don't have all the information. So you're just forced to fucking concept and, opinionate all of the fucking information that you're thrown at. And then that's where everybody gets into their fucking bubbles and their situations.
And that's actually the point of propaganda. They want you to process and opinionate.
Exactly.
I am not emotionally charged by anything that happens in Hollywood. Two billionaires arguing has nothing to do with me because those people go to lunch tomorrow over a feud that we are emotionally invested in, and they don't give a fuck.
Mike Epps and Shay, remember that shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then another thing, all the information they spewing out is nothing but bullshit. It's just the information, or I guess it's misinformation, or the miseducation, or something like that. Just to throw stuff out there and to have you thinking that this is what it is, and actuality it really ain't.
It's not.
Like how you said, man. After seeing certain stuff and reading up on certain stuff, things I once believed in, I don't believe in no more. But it's like you can go but so far telling that to certain people, because it's like not everyone is going to sort of agree and get on that bandwagon. Like, man, look, shit is going to hit the fan, and you just like, well, hey, look here, all right.
If you've never watched The Matrix, watch it for the first time, and if you've watched it already, rewatch it.
Dimensions,
The Matrix.
Oh, yeah. If you go back, if you go back and watch The Matrix now,
already watched it, rewatch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good. There's a lot of movies out there that if you kind of watch it now with another kind of understanding or a more mature understanding, like you definitely can see the signs, man. And it's not as like black and white as you would want it to be. Like even when we're talking about the Never Leave the World Behind movie, it's like everybody, it's a movie. There are a lot of people who still feel that way, and then there's a lot of people that's like, yeah, they telling us stuff. And they say it because like that's the thing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, a lot of people say shit because that's the thing to say. But people who actually see the movie and say, man, where are the comparisons of this in real life? And they really take time to digest it and figure shit out and look into it and say, wow, that happened. That is how it would happen if it really did happen. And then you start understanding the real fucking complex of the movie as well as reality. And that's where it starts to get kind of worrisome, bro, because it's like there is a lot of information that is put into making these movies. It's not like motherfuckers just, I had a dream today. No, motherfuckers do research. Motherfuckers travel.
Life.
Bro,
just
my TikTok says, followers just said The Truman Show. That's another movie. I have always, I'll tell y'all, after I watched that movie, I have always lived my life as if somebody is watching. When I wake up in the morning, I look like randomly up in the sky and I'm like, hey, good morning. I literally feel like there is something in somebody watching the bigger scheme of this, and I interact with them. I break the fourth wall all the time.
Hey, listen.
All the time.
Hey.
You never know, man.
I will break the fourth wall all the time. Every chance I get, I will look at the pretend camera. I will look out the window. If it's a bug too long on my window sill, I'm like, hey, how you doing, CIA? Like I just, that is really how I feel.
Hey,
just like the person said right here, most information is designed to dumb us down. So like you said, dumb us up.
That's Jarrell. Jarrell cool as shit. What up, Jarrell? Yeah, he cool as shit.
Okay, yeah, and you gotta believe half of what you sort of see now, and also have what you read.
Connected to the
I didn't know that either.
Now I gotta
watch. I heard about that. I heard about that.
And the connections. What are the connections, Jarrell? Tell me.
Okay.
Like
they be making like they got with movies, they have like this thing called fan theories or something like that or whatever. They do it with a lot of movies, and some of them really, really, really make a lot of sense. But and then there are some concepts that do get written together intentfully, like Easter eggs and stuff like that when you're watching like different films or games. And they put different pieces of information to make connections, just for fun sometimes, but sometimes it is like deeper meaning. Like one of the ones was like, if you look in the Saw movies, people were saying that Saw was tied into Home Alone. and they were saying Macaulay Culkin grew up because of all the crazy shit that he did with the kids in the house or with the burglars in the house, and he grew up to have this complex. He got sick. He already hated his
Hey,
family. He had a lot of stuff.
playing.
And
That
again,
shit was it made
Man.
sense, yo. And I'm
Have
like,
you
holy shit.
one of the more recent connections
Hey,
that I tried to
yo.
make,
That
and I
shit is
haven't
crazy, bro.
publicly, is I don't know if you guys seen Lovecraft, but Jonathan Major's character Atticus at the end, the way he has the lightning bolt, I always say that's how he became King the Conqueror. Because
Oh,
you got to
shit.
think about that character Atticus Freeman was a time hopper as well, and so then we meet King the Conqueror on Loki. And so it's like I just feel like those connections are just too streamlined for me not to like matter at some point or do
Yeah,
something.
listen, hey, I never saw Lovecraft. I didn't watch it.
Lovecraft
I
is
still
really
want to check it
good.
out, but they,
And then
they ended it too
Yeah.
fast. I
I
couldn't get
had
into it.
Gucci
Now.
watch it with me. I didn't think he was gonna like it, and by the end of the series, he was bawling. And I don't ever see him emote like he is. If
Oh,
y'all
shit.
like last week, y'all saw how calm, cool, collected he is. He doesn't emote a lot. And when I looked over on the couch and he was crying, I was like, I want to suggest all people watch this show and everybody watch it because this man is the most stoic person. He's just like, it's okay, babe, because I'm so like I'm here, so he's here. Like he's
Yeah.
always like, calm down. I'm the crazy one. But when I looked over and saw him crying, I was like, oh. But I
Yeah.
love Lovecraft. It's a
Hey.
beautiful show.
I'll have to
I'm
check
gonna
it out.
definitely check it out. I'm gonna definitely check it out. Okay, we're gonna dive into sort of our first topic here on the podcast. Holly was just talking about something that's a must see and something that most people has definitely been seeing and talking about literally over what the last week or so
Yep.
is this story that's been going on TikTok. And man, oh man, Shorty sat down for a good minute and a good minute. Look at man. I'm still
Fucking
on
Twilight
episode
Zone.
9 or 10. You feel me? Like, like I
Listen,
was, I was
bro.
saying, like, literally,
Yo,
did she literally sit down and tell her whole story about
I
this
got
though?
some
Now,
horrible exes too. I'm about to make some
when
money.
Word.
Brian told me a little bit about this, but I did not ask Harley for like any topics. And she said this. I was like, "Yo, we on this," and this has been the topic over the last couple of weeks. Who the fuck did I marry? It's so more than that, and it's a prestige television masterpiece. I ain't gonna read all of this though, but nonetheless, though, a young lady that's been on social media. What's her name? Reese's Teases.
Reese,
Yeah,
Teases.
Reese, Reese,
reset.
Reese,
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces, exactly.
Reese's Pieces.
Let me.
For all I know.
You know
Well,
what?
Ollie, you know more of the story. You want to go ahead and
Not
take
even
it?
so much that I know more of the story. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I'm gonna give y'all the cliff notes because I don't watch 50 videos worth of nothing.
Hell no.
Yeah,
And
hell no.
half of the think pieces I barely read, but I caught the synopsis, and here is the synopsis. Women repaint red flags as often as we can, and I'm not saying that men don't do it because I know people gonna hear this and hear me, and they're gonna tell me, Harley, you're a woman hater, as if I'm not a woman, but that's okay, whatever. I'm gonna be very freaking real with us. I have experienced through my own delusion, through the delusion of my sisters, through the delusion of my mother, through the delusion of my friends, through the delusion of other women in my family. Women hear and see what the fuck we want to hear and see. And then when we run out of excuses, then we victimize. And I am tired of it. And I hold myself accountable for doing it in the past. I hold other women that I haven't given advice to accountable for doing it in the past. I hold this Reese's Pieces bitch accountable because all of us see what the fuck we see when we see it, and we decide to believe something else, and that's on us.
Okay.
I, hey, look at. I can't argue with it
Can't
though.
say
The
shit against
first,
it, right?
the first couple of moments of the video, that certain things that she said, like he won a championship in arena football. I'm like, this didn't Google his name, that arena football, nothing, totally nothing. It was just like you had sort of an obligation to yourself that you ain't gonna let no man move in with you before you get married. All right, this guy is moved in. He's paying all the bills, all this other stuff though. But it's just like Harley just said though. I think a lot of women do see what the fuck is going on. They just choose to ignore it. And like how the woman also said, she's been, it was many red flags throughout all of this though. But one thing when she was dating online, when she's meeting him online, she saw another profile of him, had a totally different name, same picture, different name though. But she meet the guy. The guy is he looks like how he look in this picture. So I think that one thing
Look
threw her
at that.
off.
I'm sorry, but look at that nigga.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
see
seen a
him.
couple of
I
pictures.
haven't
I
seen him.
seen a couple of pictures of him.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like to call nobody nothing. You know what I mean? Because I tell people all the time, I have been privileged to find one of the most beautiful men in the world to lay next to. And sometimes that makes me a little judgmental of how other folks decide to lay next to folks. And so I have to watch my mouth. But don't nothing about that man say I was all nothing in no fucking arena football. My issue with women is that we want the win so bad. And it's okay to want the win, but either you're going to take responsibility or you gonna stop being on that bullshit. We can't do
Oh,
both. You
okay. Well,
can't fucking do both. When I
I'll
dated a
talk in a
bum,
minute.
I took care of a bum for 2 years of my life. I paid all of his bills. I bought that nigga a car. He put regular gas inside of a BMW. I paid $350 to get the regular gas pumped out because he didn't know what the fuck to do with it. I took responsibility for that L. If you can't take responsibility for that L and you want to call him a narcissist, you are a dumbass.
Wait a minute. He fucked up your car and then you took responsibility for it?
He fucked up his car. I bought him a foreign vehicle thinking that he knew what he was doing, and he put 87 in my motherfucking car. And instead of taking the car, because the way women work, we do dumb shit. Instead of taking the car and being like, no, that's not cool. I was driving a Nissan Altima at the time. Let me just let y'all know this is bullshit. Like look, Reese's Pieces, we all got stories, ho. I was driving a Nissan Altima. I put this man in a beautiful 2-door BMW coupe, and he put 87 in my car. I paid $350 the day that he fucked that gas line up to get it flushed, and then showed him how to put the right type of gas in the car, and he still fucked it up, and I still pretended not to see it. When I left, I didn't tell nobody that he was a user. I said I got tired of being stupid, and I left, and I took my L like a grown-ass motherfucking woman.
Okay, I respect it. But Harley, yeah, because your story just became like a hell of a lot more interesting than the story we're talking about all of a sudden. I gotta ask some fucking questions now. Okay, first off, Harley. Okay, we gotta ask some questions. Fuck it, we ain't gonna sky by this.
Come on, I'm ready for the questions.
First off, why did you buy this guy this car?
He didn't have a car.
But okay.
And in my mind, it made more sense to buy him a car than to be the woman driving him around. Or because this is how you do it. This is how we fuck our minds up. Like as women, like I can take responsibility now, right? I wanted to separate myself from bitches like Yvette on Baby Boy, right? And so in my mind, buying him a car was so much more better than me waiting outside of the school that I was working at for him to come and pick me up in my car. Because I ain't gonna be outside waiting on no man to come pick me up from a car. But you gonna go buy him a car, right? You dumb bitch. I say this to myself in the mirror now because I understand that was the stupidest shit to rationalize. But in my mind, it made sense. I'm not gonna be like Yvette and Jody. I'm not gonna be standing outside like this, waiting on him to pick me up in the car. I'm gonna be cool with my car, and I'm gonna get him the kind of car that he wants. I thought the nigga was gonna pick a small, cute car. We go on a lot. The nigga pick a BMW coupe. It's a beautiful car. I can't even get mad at him. So I say, fuck it, let's go. Let's do this. He fucked up. Spent more time with other niggas in that 2-door car than me. The man went to jail 4th of July weekend. I bailed him out with his mother. He got out of jail at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night and asked me to take him to the block. I should have left then. And I didn't. Also, let's add that I had a $1,000 apartment on the other side of Chicago and was staying in his mother's house with him and all of his siblings. It gets deep when you want to believe what the fuck you want to believe. So when I tell you, ladies, I hold us all accountable as a collective group. I tell you my dumb shit to let you know I hold us all accountable as a collective group because we want to win so bad that we will neglect to hold a motherfucker accountable for some shit that they are capable of doing. He was the man that I dated before the man that I'm dating now. When I met my man now, there are certain boundaries that I don't fucking play around with right now. And every boundary, every motherfucking bar that I reach, he hits it. Why? Because he's invested in me and he understands that I am invested in myself enough that I will leave him if he does not do what he needs to do, and he understands who I am. But I had to be a dumb bitch for 2 years to figure that out. So I'm grateful for the woman that I am, and a lot of us are laying down in our dumb bitchiness and we are using it as a badge of honor, and it's not cute, and we need to stand the fuck up.
Listen, I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like we said before, there's different personality types, man. Everybody can't just be the motherfucker who gets it all the time. Everybody's not. There's a lot of motherfuckers who just don't get it, man. Like I've been talking about like the last fucking 20 shows I've been doing. I've been watching nothing. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't give a fuck how it sounds. I have been watching nothing. But every chance I get free time, 90 Day Fiance, I don't know what the fuck it is,
I
man. I'm
love
hooked.
90 Day Fiance.
I'm hooked. I but this isn't the first thing I've watched that was like that had me screaming at the fucking TV and talking shit. But like Catfish and all these shows where it's like you watch this shit and it's just some examples, and you're like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like Carly
Mm.
just said, I mean, I mean, you're speaking for women. I mean, men definitely do it too. But it's just everybody's got they challenges that they face when they're looking for love or commitment or companionship, whatever you want to fucking call it. Like everybody's got their things that they fallen for. They things that they fallen with.
And to her perspective, Reese's didn't want to be alone, and I think that's a lot of that's an issue that we all face as a collective, society at some point.
Yeah,
We just in this day and age, though we don't. Some of us, if not all, don't want to be alone and just figure out ourselves and work on ourselves and see what bullshit that we dish off and what things that we like or dislike about herself, or just a bunch of stuff. But that was
yeah,
one thing I noticed, that she didn't want to be alone. She was just like, oh, you know what? Where we going? Where we gonna spend time with this COVID shit? And boom, came to her house. Came to
yeah,
her house, started paying all the bills, and she felt comfortable. She got into that I don't know what to call it, but she got into it when he started paying the bills,
The
and
delusion.
and and yes, and my
I
thing
don't
I
think
was
it's
just
delusion.
saying,
I think it's that. Like, I think comfortable is the perfect word.
I think it
yeah,
is. The reason
comfortable, no, comfort.
the
It
reason I
is.
say it is delusion is
It,
because it has some safety elements to it, right? For me,
Hmm.
delusion is smoke and mirrors. Like one of my, because I'm live as well on TikTok, and one of the people that's watching the live asks, why do women kind of cry out for good men, right? But then that do right by them, but then it's kind of like they don't really lean into those men. Every woman that takes to social media right now that talks about the low quality of men have at least 3 men in their inbox that are the quality of men that they want, but that man
Yeah,
is
ignore that motherfucker.
mhm.
not exciting enough. And the
Oh
reason
yeah,
why
Or
that
he
man
born.
enough is because what we don't want to admit as people, no matter whether you are a man or woman, because we like to make this trait only male. All people are predators, and all people like a chase. I don't care who you are, you like a chase. And I think the hot spot is to find a way to chase something that's good for you. Like I'm in a relationship that is seemingly healthy, but we still chase one another in a way that is healthy for us. I've even heard B talk about how him and Tip will get into it, but after getting into it, the sex is amazing, right? They do what
oh
they
yeah.
need to do because that's part of the chase. And I think when we have these moments where people are like maybe paying bills,
Dre, I just typed to you something real quick. My bad. Go ahead, Harvey.
giving us the good things and giving us the positivities. Like sometimes we are so afraid that the things that we imagine as green flags don't exist that we that we will take red flags and we will kind of doctor them up, because sometimes we defy
There
ourselves
you go.
emotionally. We will think
Like,
to ourselves that we're asking too much. We will say to ourselves, the thing that I want does not exist. Like there was a time in my life that I was like,
Yeah.
there is not a excuse me, there is not a man in this world that is going to be okay having a monogamous heterosexual relationship with me, knowing that I like women. I had it in my head that I had to settle for cheating. I had to settle for lying. I had to settle for bullshit because I could not meet a man that I could look at and say, hey, this is what I like. And then I met that man and I was like, oh, you just have to speak what you want in this life for real. and really believe that. That's one of the things that the Matrix retaught me, but I just felt it in my life. Like I've always been a person that my mom tells me, Harley, you have childlike faith, even as a 32-year-old woman. Like I truly wake up every day and believe that my life is going to be the best life for me. And I think life itself looks at me like we got to give this bitch good outcomes, because she really doesn't wake up and think of the worst case. And a lot of us, we hope for the best, but we sit really deep mentally into the worst. And I think that young lady believed that the worst is being alone. And so because she believed the worst was being alone, she kept overlooking things that were very clearly not true, like catfish, like you were talking about, Brian. These people that think they Bow Wow and think that
Wow, like
the biggest celebrity,
That
but
shit was crazy.
they call
crazy.
Katy Perry. There was a whole bunch of them motherfuckers.
the Bow Wow episode was what
Now
got
the Bow Wow, yeah, the Bow Wow one that got me though. I was like, really, really, really.
It came back, Dre. Swipe that motherfucker. It's trying to fight you.
it want baby, it want its camera time so bad.
Yeah, it does. It's just like a little piece.
But I think
stuck on there. It'll be all right.
I think we underestimate our power. And so that's the reason why I speak. Like I don't speak manifestation in the way that I think most people or most spiritualists speak it. I speak it from this place of, you gotta understand that, like Shallow Hal. If you guys ever seen the movie Shallow Hal, and
I saw Shallow Hal.
at the end of Shallow Hal, that he was like, "Why would you wake me up?" Like what people don't understand is I don't give a fuck if I am living in a fantasy world. If that fantasy world makes me happy, leave me fuck alone.
You losing me now, Harley. I can't agree with that.
Because my thing is this: reality is subjective.
Yeah, to an extent.
What's perfectly calm for me is chaos for a fly, right? A fly's reality and my reality is not the same thing. Who the fuck am I to grab that fly and say, hey, guess what? You're inside of a greater room right now that you are this big into, which is what we are. I think I'm super big because my life is super big in my ears, right? But I am such a small part of a universe and such a small part of multiple universes and multiple dimensions that I will never understand. If what I'm doing in this space makes me happy and I'm not questioning myself like this young lady was, I don't want nobody to wake me up. And that's just my preference. Because everybody else,
that's fine.
Because some people want to be slapped with the truth. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather die in delusion. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at least admitting it is fine. I mean, I definitely understand. Like, if that's what you're interested in. I mean, everybody got like I keep saying, everybody got their own personalities. Everybody got their own, reasons for thinking the way they want to think. But at the same time, like, one thing I do agree that you were saying is people do kind of have a false sense of reality a lot of times. Now, even though reality is subjective and stuff like that, you got your own way of living. There are certain factual fucking situations that you have to understand. That's what it is, man. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. You feel me? Like, and I think that's one of the problems with having so much opinionated, shit, being able to, be involved in almost every decision, every situation, everything. There's no room for, just direct, rules and structure and, stimulation, situations and boundaries and shit. So it's like everybody has the ability to kind of factor in whatever they want. I'm a fly. I'm a ghost. I'm a fart. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, I can just be. I forgot what the fuck. I was just joking around the other day. On some real shit. I was joking. I was walking around the store, and I was just like, man, every day I'm about to wake up and just say I'm something else every day and just say fuck it. And if anybody questions me on it, I'm gonna make it the biggest fucking deal. I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm gonna fucking go on.
I tell people you're anti me if you don't see me at 6'2". Because okay, so y'all, if you ever meet me in person, because I tell people all the time, I don't exist for real. So if you ever meet me for real in person, I am about 5'4" for real, but I identify as 6'2", and I think anti Harley if you walk up to me and go, wow, you're short, because you don't see me. I'm 6'2".
That's fucking crazy. And see, right there, I should be able to legit say, excuse me, is she out of her fucking mind or something? Yeah. And I shouldn't be able to be questioned. And then I'm looked at like, are you serious? Yo, there was
do that.
Yeah, for real. Yo, Drake, did you see? I know this was a joke. I'm pretty sure this was a joke. But we watch wrestling and shit, and The Rock, just came back. It was a heel. You saw Commission Talk. And The Rock went into the crowd and he talked this shit. And this was The Rock's old school shit he always used to do. And he said, "Shut your mouth, fatty, before I come down there and smack the herpes off your lips," or some shit, right? So tell me how the fuck I saw on TikTok, apparently somebody's mad, or there's people mad at The Rock because they said he fat shamed somebody in the audience.
If you fat, you
see, that's another thing I think that's an
if you
issue
fat,
with
you fat.
today. Everyone is so quick to cancel you. Everyone is so quick to get in their feelings and feel
Anything.
some type of way because of what someone says. Like if you like, we talked about this too on this show too. I think if you want to be in a better place in your life, or you want to be happy, let's say, I think it starts with yourself. I don't think you're
Yeah.
happy enough with yourself or with your life if The Rock pointed you out or some shit and said some shit that he always say, and you get upset because you happen to be the fat motherfucker that he talking about. Like,
Exactly.
come
And
on,
I
man.
so
Like,
first of
that
all,
shit
in
don't
this
make
day and
sense,
age of
man.
going viral,
Tell it, Dre.
when The Rock calls me fatty, I'm lifting up my shirt and jiggling my fat.
My fucking
That's
shirt
one of
all day, bro.
people
All
gotta
day.
people have to make peace with who they are. I think that's another reason why I'm okay with living in my delusion, because
Yeah.
I've made peace with who I am. Like, it's
Yeah.
so funny to me because I tell people, like, I'm grateful for the time that I'm deciding to get into social media, because when I do go viral and these things start to happen and people start to know who I am, when all of these people from my past come and try to like tell my man, like, "Hey, by the way, Gucci, did you know she did this?" Yes. Not only does he know it, but the world knows it, because I don't shy away from who I am. I think that's one of the biggest issues that I have with not only our community, but humanity as a whole. Like, I am a member of the LGBTQ community. If you tell a gay joke around me and it's funny, I'm going to laugh. I am a woman who at one point in my life was promiscuous. If you tell a whole joke around me, I'm going to laugh. Because guess what? By the definitions of those words, I stood under those categories. And
Yeah.
what's so beautiful is I bust those categories out of the park, because people say, "Hey, hoes can't have husbands." Guess what? I'm about to get married in a year. People say, "Guess what? Hoes can't be moms." Guess what? I love the fuck out of my stepkids, and I've been keeping them alive for the last 5 years, along with their mothers. People say things about who we are. Like, people say sex workers can't be real-rounded people, and I will have a whole conversation with people, and they'll be like, "Yeah, da 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 da. You're nothing like the strippers I know." But I'm a stripper, but you don't know that, and so you
Yeah.
should watch your fucking mouth about people.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, we're back to the situation where everybody's different, man. Everybody got to stop fucking generalizing so much, because generalization is still needed, but not just so much to the point where you think you know every fucking thing. But yo, we've been talking all this, which is really good conversation. Like, we were talking about like the Reese's Pieces chick or whatever. This is what happened. I was sitting there, I was fucking cooking outside, and I came inside from cooking some meat. I said, I'm gonna barbecue. Fuck this. I'm gonna barbecue. I'm gonna make some hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. And I went outside and everything. You know how when you're kind of like, if you're doing something, you kind of focus. I kept coming in and out the house to get this, get that, whatever, do whatever. And I kept hearing Tiff in the fucking living room, and she was just listening to something. And it was a lady just talking over and over. So I'm sitting there like, I'm not even paying attention to it at first. And then I get into the house where I'm like, I got the meat, I got everything with me. And she's still listening. She on the fucking carpet on the ground with her elbows and shit, with a phone on the floor watching the shit. I'm like, yo, I got
What the
this
fuck you
show
watching?
captivated, yo.
But she made $18,000 doing that. So I'm about to set up a camera.
Look here. I heard about, somebody mentioned something on TikTok earlier where I saw where it's like now before I say that, now a part of me when I saw the story, I was like, man, I think this bitch made this up. I think she real live wrote this whole story out and sat in her
You
car,
can't make
drove it, and
certain
just
shit
made
up,
it up.
Trey.
Now I know you can't though, but damn it, like
You can
shit, like,
embellish though. You can
Yeah, you
yeah,
can
embellish.
jazz it up. I tell
yeah.
people all the time, if you hear a story from me 9 times out of 10, I've jazzed some parts of it up, because
Mhm.
that's human. I feel like that's human nature. And
Mm.
at the end of the day, in this day and age, Like I said, she made $86,000. I'm finna take this BMW story and we finna stretch this, baby.
There you go.
I mean, let's just be honest. Like, it's really, if we're gonna continue to exist in a capitalist society, there are two things that we got to stop being confused about. We mentioned this last week. We got to stop thinking that people that acquire that much wealth in a capitalist society are not monsters. So stop gasping when you find out that your faves are going through it. And then also, we just got to understand that like bullshit is bullshit no matter how much money is put into it or out of it. And if that's the case, then if you're gonna get paid for something, you might as well get paid for your truth. There's a lot of us sitting on stories trying to thug some shit out that we could put a camera on our face for and make the next year of our motherfucking bills off of just letting people know our business.
Shit, I wish. There's a lot of chance, opportunity, and luck that come with that shit. Let me tell you something. We in a world of motherfuckers. I've been on this motherfucker for 5 years, and I ain't know. I've gotten a couple places, but you are right. But at the same time, I think that's one of the problems with non-authenticity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if motherfuckers come out here, you can't tell who's saying what. You don't really know what to believe, and then just some crazy random shit just catches the fuck on someday. It's chance, bro. I don't think it's. There's some people who are crazy talented, and then there's some people who go fucking viral for look how easy it is to do this shit. Like the black kid. Yeah, that shit or whatever. And he's fucking millionaire. He's in boxing, videos. And bro, there's no reasoning with this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just chance. This chick, we picked up her story. Somebody watched it and said, oh, blah, blah, blah. She didn't even know. She just got in there, run her fucking mouth. And listen, if you're watching all 50 videos, you motherfuckers need to check yourselves into a clinic. I never hear somebody fucking run their mouth for 50 videos.
That's another thing too. We love to indulge ourselves in other people's stories and other people's bullshit or what's going on.
That deep in other people's lives is because we're not focused on our own life. Because a lot of people that like call me to talk to me about celebrity bullshit, I'd be like in the middle of crocheting and I'd be like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like even when I'm watching like 90 Day Fiance.
That's what I'm gonna say. I watch 90 Day Fiance all the time. I'm talking shit.
I keep talking about. I'm gonna have to go turn it on when I'm done.
I'll talk shit about that shit all day. But like the intrusive questions that Gucci will ask me about them, I'm like, babe, I don't know this much about their life.
Like, I just like arguing, yo. I like arguing with the TV.
Money, they do this. I'm like, baby, I don't know. I watched the episode. I have my opinion on the isolated event, and I move on. Yeah. That's another thing for me. It's like I'm not as invested as I realize that the world around me is.
Yeah. And that's another thing. And I'm not trying to save face. I'm not saying that I don't get lost in some bullshit, like everybody. But I'm just saying, like, there's certain people that sit here and will invest in it. And I think that's where it's like, it's just too much, man. It's just too much. You sit there, watching this lady, and you hear her story, and there's some people who can relate, and there's some people who can, like, just they interested in the story. You want to talk about it. Sometimes I watch shit. I've said this before. I think we were talking wrestling, everything. There's times where I watch shit or do shit just to hate it. Like there's videos I watch on TikTok, and I'm sitting there like, I fucking hate it. Watch what he said. I'm over here searching this fucking board. I can't wait till he said things. I'm gonna fucking hate it when I do that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I do that shit. And it's just, I don't know. Is it entertaining? Yeah, it's entertaining to me. I do it. There's this chick on TikTok. I watch this chick on TikTok, this small little girl, and she talks shit, mad shit all day, like a New York chick, and a little Spanish chick. And this girl make fucking videos in her car driving every day, fucking driving, making TikTok. And I get so mad because I'm like, yo, stop making fucking, you're going to murder somebody. You're already fucking 4-0. You're going to murder somebody making TikToks and shit. It's been the stupidest story that their whole family got to tell for the rest of their fucking life. How'd you die, John? Oh, this bitch is making a TikTok on the highway. And I'm sitting here like, and I watch her to hate it. I watch her just to hate it. And I even commented her one time.
Like, there are going to be people that constantly, like when we think about like murder mysteries, they're going to always be copycats that are going to recreate. Unplug that heater for me, baby. That are going to recreate things because of what you just said. Because there are people who live to hate certain opinions. They live to hate certain realities. And as long as somebody knows, like for instance, that Miss Netta and Charles situation, Miss Netta knows that people live to tell her how bad her acne is or how much she looks.
Oh, y'all talking about that? You talking about that lady that cooked for her
Bad.
man?
Oh, she
I
what
don't
she
know what
said.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is a trans woman or not, and so I don't want to disrespect anybody. But Mrs. Netta is a woman who appears to be a trans woman, and she looks just like Bill Cosby. She looks just like Bill Cosby.
I think I
And
do know what you're talking about.
she whipping the work in the kitchen, and then she got this really slow looking dude. No offense, Charles, that comes in her life in every live that she makes. She goes, Charles, your whatever insert meal is ready, and he walk up and he take a bite with his slow ass, and he go, and these
It's
motherfuckers,
good.
and these motherfuckers are making billions of dollars
Fucking monsters are getting
Yes,
credit.
they are.
because people
Sorry.
are making. That's what I'm saying. But people are making fun of her acne.
I just like talking shit, yo.
People are assuming that she still has a penis. People are calling him slow because he look a few quarters short of a 6-piece. You know, and people enjoy things they hate. And that's one of the things I tell people, like, I have a platform built on love. I never get upset at the fact that my numbers don't do what I feel like hatred and beef does, because I don't want to hate. Nobody want to watch me tell people how worthy they are yet. When people get tired of hating, I know I'm gonna get my time. And like you said, B, it's a game of chance. And you got to stand on your product enough to be happy about your game of chance. I have thousands of videos. Hi, beautiful.
No,
I have thousands of videos of me telling people how worthy they are. And they're not ready to hear that right now because they are enjoying the hate fest. When they are tired of the hate fest, my content is going to get all the love. And I am patient enough that I can wait for it.
Let me tell you something. I already say to my fucking shit. I say all the time at this point with TMZ and just some of the stories that the people are coming out with. It's not even stories anymore. I can't remember the last time I said this, but you literally just got stupid topics with people deliberately trying to make people, like, you know, pick a side and form a group and argue and bitch and moan. And I'm over it, bro. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't really partake in. Like I said, that's why I think I've been so just kind of tied into like the real shit that's going on, or at least trying to figure out the real shit that's going on. I don't care about a lot of stuff anymore, man. That's even this. I'm not gonna lie, I keep saying it, bro. Even this, even doing the show. I love my show. Y'all see, I'm highly invested. 5 fucking years, but I'm starting to really question if I want to continue doing the social media thing like that anymore. I just don't know if I want to be a part of this shit like that anymore. And it's really coming out. I'm still gonna be here, I'm pretty sure, but I am questioning shit. And I never thought it would come this early.
I think it comes, and I think it also comes with age. Like I watched like my family, like my mother and my aunties, be super invested, and then I watched one day that the conversation shifted in those households, and then we picked up the conversation, right? Me, my sisters, my cousins, and then one day, like I turned 30, and I was just like, I really don't care. Like
that's one of them. That's one of them pivotal ages. 30, you're like.
Stop caring, yo.
I can't wait for 40 because I feel like by 40, it's gonna rip my fucking.
Oh, baby, let me tell you something. Every time you make one of the milestone ages, it's gonna kick in.
That's probably why my shit changing. I'm 37 this year, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting closer to that point where I'm just like, a lot of shit is just decreasing. My kids are getting older. I'm like, I just don't got patience for shit. No, like that's one thing. My patience are fucking diminishing at this point. Like by the day.
I started understanding why older people just let shit fly out their mouth. You know, because I'm like, you just reach a point like, I don't give a damn.
I don't give
a damn.
I can't wait till I'm like in my 60s and I could just say anything. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And I'm already getting there like right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll be 52 on the 29th. And I know.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for real.
When I said in my 40s, I thought you was gonna be like, yeah, because here in my 40s, I don't give a fuck.
52, about 52.
That's good. Wax don't crack. We know that already.
Unless you do it.
What you think about? What you think about the whole who the fuck did I marry TikTok situation that's going on? Risa Pizza. You haven't seen it? You haven't heard about it? Oh wow! Harley,
piece of pizza.
All the red flags, and her husband first he appeared to be this Prince Charming,
right?
It actually sounds a lot like, I don't know if y'all heard that other situation. It sounds a lot like that lady that was married to that stud deacon. And she found out that her house was not owned by her and they was renting. But basically, she ignored all the red flags until she couldn't ignore the red flags no more. And did a 50 video TikTok that made her $86,000 and got her a couple of brand deals. So I'm proud of her.
I mean, do the damn thing.
Her truth,
you know.
But I'm gonna also hold her accountable because I'm pretty sure you saw along that road, you saw it. Because I've been
First
on that
of all,
road.
Even though, and I think, of course, when we first meet people, you meet their representative. We all know that, right? You're gonna put your best foot forward, your
Definitely
best face forward, all the good things or whatever, and all that. But if you're having real conversation, and not that they got people out there that can fake a long time, right? Because they can, and all that. But that comes with being in touch with yourself and your own spirit and knowing you and and your intuition, your sixth sense, your spiritual guide will give you the clues, to give you that gut check, but you got to be willing to listen to it, right? Because I've looked back, at my marriage, and I can go back and be like, I think about 1 year in, I knew. But then when I go further back, I was like, oh no, he showed me all the signs. I was just in a state that I was looking for something, right? And sometimes that's that societal standard and norm of, I just want to be married, right? I just want to have kids. I want this, picket fence shit or whatever and all that. That's conditioning. They teach us that, right? And all that because that make the big people the money,
but also, I don't think that it's just that. I think it also feels really good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Even
You're
more,
right.
but I'm just trying. I jumped in right there because everybody paints everything like into a narrative, like. Yeah, there is potential that we're just being these conditioned robots, machines. That there is probably like a structure that's really got us kind of like being, especially Black people, like we don't have no culture of ourselves and anything.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I think that a big part of it is it sucks to kind of be alone a lot, man.
It absolutely does.
So it's like people who do reach a status to where you do get scared after a while. You did go on a million dates and this guy was okay. That guy, it's a fucking job. I just call it a job application or a job interview.
I mean, it's an interview.
So it's like, I do understand people who struggle because it is hard to fucking find somebody who you're compatible with. It's a real difficult situation. But at the same time, it's like, the people who are doing this shit, you do have to understand, just like you came in and said, like, you meeting a representative. Everybody don't have that sensibility to say, man, listen, I tell my son all the time, and this is my son. He's 12 going on 13 next month. And I tell him, and I'm like, James, listen, right now, how you are, he's one of them type of people, the motherfuckers that you talk to and they get real close in your face and talk to you, hey, buddy, how you doing? And you're like, damn, aren't you fucking like, bro, calm down, like you're too close. But they don't have that kind of like rationalization of like, maybe I'm too close to him.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Motherfuckers like that, yo.
Because I don't understand it. I was gonna say that, like, I don't
There's
even
people like that.
I don't even understand the loneliness. Like, it took me to be in social media and plugged into the world to understand this idea of loneliness, because I live a very privileged life. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and my mother, because of the way she almost died having me, my mother gave me so much love that when I escaped from her house, I was running away from love, trying to find solitude. And because of I feel like because of the foundation of that, I have always dealt with people that wanted to shower me with love. So for a very long time, I used to get angry with women. Like, it's not that hard to be by yourself. Like, bitch, love yourself.
It is when you don't love the inside, right? Because if you're neglected as a kid, if you don't get your needs met.
Right, I feel that way because I have such a full cup, and I didn't understand that there are people in this world that have very empty cups.
Empty cups. Yeah.
I come from a life where I desire solitude because I have a mom that, like, if I walk up a step, it's like, yay, Harley, oh my God. So I thought that's what the whole world was. So when everybody was like, I just want to be loved, I'm like, why the fuck are you begging people outside of your house to love you?
Because mama didn't do it. Daddy didn't do it.
Beautiful. You have it. Sister, but I didn't understand that I'm privileged because when you are born poor and you're raised poor, you don't believe that privilege is capable for you. And even in all the poverty that I was raised in, I was very privileged because I had a mother who loved me in a way that made me feel like I could do anything in this world. And a lot of people don't have that, so they will accept anything because they don't have those things in their cup. I didn't even know that. And it makes me give them more grace because I used to be a tough ass. Like, girl, get over it. Walk it off. But it's like you
Real.
can't walk it off. That shit hurts.
People still need to fucking, but even though it hurts, people still need to hear that though, because at the end of the day, in reality, you do have to walk it the fuck off.
You do have to walk
So even
away.
though,
You do.
yeah, so even though you might be saying it, you might be a little harsh, it may be something else, or you might be a little direct. Like at the end of the day, I think, like we were talking before, like the fact is, you know, if you're being with somebody and they're not treating you well, and it hurts to be with them, they're not doing right. The fact is, it's not good for you to be in that situation.
Period.
So it doesn't matter how you feel or what's going, or you know how much love you have for this person. Any of that shit is out the window because the fact is the situation is not good for you.
That's
and
right.
that's
Period.
why people need to understand the honest fucking situation as a whole, and not just how they feel about it.
Right.
And I know that's hard to like formulate and like think about because like we just
But
established
real talk.
everybody's different. But yeah,
It's
just
detrimental to us. We hold on to hope so bad. I think
Yes. Oh
hope is
God, that was me all day
hope
long.
is the most detrimental human tool
It
in
is.
this world
It
because
is.
we have this idea of what our world is going to be like, this utopia, and we utilize our utopia to fuel our hope. And these things are not possible. Some people are a piece of shit and they will die.
Period. Right. And until they choose to change that, they're gonna still be a piece of shit.
It's not no greater option that it's not a lesson for you to learn. It's not no deeper meaning. Some suffering is just suffering.
Right. Well, I think they're all lessons. You just gotta choose to take the lesson now.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you stay in it, then how you gonna learn the
Everything's
lesson?
a lesson. Yeah, everything's a lesson. Everything's a lesson. Anything you do, you doing it, and you like, man, you could learn from anything. I laugh about it, but that movie, fucking the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, and he was over there teaching them the wax on and wax off is always definitely going to be one. But when Jackie Chan was like, pick your coat up off the floor, put it on the rack, and you sit there watching them, and you see them fucking put it all together. It's crazy, but it's like that's a lesson in life. It's like everything you
all the things
do.
are the foundation to build up to what you really need and what you really want, and that's how I even feel about even dating in itself. Like the first person you meet, the 7th person, the 15th person you meet might not be your forever person. Like relationships are transitional, like they're temporary, and so you know you don't know the time limit for them, but whatever is there to teach you is supposed to make you a better person. And whatever they're going through, whoever your person is, should be taking their lessons. And then when the two shall meet, they two shall meet, right? Yeah. But you still have to be in a position where I love myself enough to walk away.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not.
I hate when people tell me, I hope you and Gucci never break up. That'll break my heart. I tell them, calm down. It'll break my heart too, but you got to calm down, because if we transition from each other's life, I promise you, the end of us won't be the end of me.
That's right.
So you can't be that emotionally charged by my relationship. And I tell my family that, I say, because you put pressure on me to stay when I don't want to stay. I've been in abusive relationships with men that my mother loved. And that man was kicking my head into a radiator. But because my mother said it would break her heart not to leave that man, I was 19 years, how you a little girl, basically 18, 20 years old, but he's taking care of my mother. He's an older man. He's taking care of my mother. He's taking care of her. Going on. I said, man, but that man was kicking my ass. Right. But I knew that everybody had an emotional connection to that relationship, and they didn't even understand what was going on. Right. And so the day that I walked away and realized that relationship was something I had to transition from, I received backlash from the people that loved me.
Right. Because they were serving their needs. They're serving their emptiness.
Yeah. That's one thing I was saying earlier here on the show. A lot of people just not, they haven't found happiness within themselves and learn how to just be totally just themselves, and just that though, because the whole Reese's the story with the young lady, I just like people do need someone to be there, and they don't want to be alone. But I think at one point of the story, when she was telling, and I said like, well, like you got to put your big girl drawers on and just pay the bills. I understand that you wanted him to come in and feel relaxed and feel and rescue you or whatever. But you like, come on, we all grown. We all know at the first of the month we gotta pay bills.
That's right.
So nobody really get no time. You don't get no discount this month,
Right.
or
Yeah. You
no,
don't get a pass.
you don't get a pass. That's the word I'm looking for. So, and I think that's what she was like. Oh, I feel so much relief. He just paying the bills, he paying all of this like that, and I don't have to do anything. So it was just like, I think certain people get stuck in that motion and then just ignore every single thing. Like
Everything else.
throughout all
Yeah.
of it, she ignore all the red flags. Though I'm
Right.
gonna ask Brian real thing. Why do you feel like I ain't gonna say women, but why do you feel
Mhm.
like she ignored all the red flags instead of noticing anything else?
part of me part of me wants to give an honest answer of how I honestly feel, and I don't want to insult anybody, but it is going to be insulting.
Just say what you feel.
This
I
gonna be
think
fucked
Let,
up.
let them deal with their own feelings.
This gonna be fucked up. I'm just letting y'all know.
Okay.
I'm just clarifying it.
Okay.
I personally feel, and take it however y'all want, that people who are less attractive, I'm not gonna even say ugly, because it's subjective. It is subjective, whatever.
It is. Right.
But I feel like people who are less attractive, or at least feel like they're less attractive, I feel like they choose to put up with more because they feel like their options are less as well. And this is from not just like, oh, I'm the best looking person in the world. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that, whether it be like bigger women, bigger men, even with the 90-day fiance shit, kind of like research, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm noticing there's a lot. There are some of those weird situations where it's like, really good looking. I'm like, damn, this guy was a model, and he's over here, but his mentality is weird as fuck. And everything kind of fits into different areas. But it's like, and I'm not saying that Reese's Pieces is the best looking chick in the world or she's the ugliest person on the planet. But what I am saying is, in my opinion, she fits the narrative in a way of somebody who maybe it's not as easy for her to get into relationships as it may be for somebody who is a little bit different, who is a little bit maybe, in a different standard, or looked at in a different standard. Beyonce is probably going to be able to break up with somebody a little bit easier on the strength of, hey, I know I got options, motherfucker. I can quit a job because I know I'm the top mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same shit.
Pretty privilege is a thing, and I didn't realize,
real shit.
First of all, I didn't realize it was a thing, and because I had not yet learned my value, I didn't realize that I had it until I walked into a club with one of my friends that was not by societal standards.
Yeah.
Prettier.
Traditionally
and I watched the way I got treated at the door, and I watched the way my friend got treated at the door.
Yeah.
And it made me realize, first of all, it made me kind of check myself for calling myself out of my name, because I didn't realize how pretty I was, and I started to learn that I'm gorgeous. But then I also realized that, like, when the world sees you as more attractive and more palatable visually,
it's a true shit.
It's a whole different experience. If I drop something or break something, oh, it's okay. Let somebody twice my size, but yo, big ass, why would you drop that? And it's like, I watch people mistreat people that look opposite of what I look like, and it makes it weird, because then what people don't talk about is like the dark side of pretty privilege, because then people where they don't want to know who I am. They just be involved.
That's true too.
Especially being a sex worker, like they just want to be involved. I'm a fantasy to a lot of people. Oh, she's a dancer and she's a teacher.
So they fetishize you
shit out of her, and it's like, you don't even know me.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, wait.
Listen, there's a lot of it, but it is because you're right, yo. That trophy wife situation status, it's a lot of things. Like it is a pros and the cons of the shit. You know what I mean? For men and women, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get classified as like this person who is literally trying to fucking.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. But you literally get classified as this person who, you're just pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get that shit too. I'm not saying I got it. I was attractive motherfucker. And like Harley said, like, it was times where it's like, as I got older, it was weird for me, because when I was younger, I had my first girlfriend in like first grade, Kelly Connolly, bro. I'll never forget her.
All right.
And we always, and I was the only motherfucker, little fat, little chubby, little black kid, and I was in there, getting play. But then as I started getting older, like my looks, I guess, started maturing, and I started like working out, and I was doing shit. So it's like I wasn't really never paying attention. Like, oh, girls are really interested in me and shit. Like, I used to love women and stuff. So it's like I never really paid attention to it. But it is a different kind of like, approach, or like, kind of respect that you get when you are taken as like, oh wow, they're good looking, or he's good looking, she's good looking, especially for like a pretty girl. You forget about it. Guys just fucking do any, pay your rent, pay your bills, every fucking thing. And so it's like when it comes to this situation, like we're kind of getting lost, but when it comes to her situation, I feel like she chose to ignore what she chose to ignore until she couldn't choose to ignore it anymore. We don't even know the other guy's side of the story, so everything she's fucking feeding us is just her version.
I saw one video where it was like she came up with all of this and said all of this because she cheated on him. That was just from one video I saw. I don't know.
Who knows?
But hey, who knows?
It's always two sides of a story, man.
Definitely is. Though. I'm waiting for his though. Yeah, I'm waiting for his though. Please don't come out with 50 parts though.
Please.
Right.
That shit gonna be 14 sentences. Because men, that's nothing about women. Women, I went to the store and I really was sad that day because I lost listen, I went to the store, I got my shoes, I got the fuck out when it was fighting. I don't want to get shot, and I got my car and I drove home. A woman will tell you that same story fucking 450 episodes.
506 times. Every detail.
Oh yeah.
And Brian, just like on the same thing you were saying though, like I think that some of that similar stuff, right? Because I have pretty privilege, but I'm also in a larger body, right? And all that, but a shapely body, right?
Yeah.
And so I caught some of both of that, where it's, oh, you pretty, but you big, right? And all that. And so I see that on both ends. And but I also think that from the inside, right? From the inside, it's about how she feel about her.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
Energy.
Right. And like you said, and it's projected from the outside because society says, oh, well, you fat, or you not attractive, or whatever, right? And so you start believing that, and so then you hold yourself in less value and worth. Then you're like, well, I gotta take what I gotta take. I gotta get what I gotta get. I gotta take the minimal.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I think it has a lot to do with how you show up into the world too, because I feel like people who are like, I honestly think that if energetically I was an angry, evil person, I would not be as attractive as I am today, because I show up with high energy, because I feel positive. I feel that I also feel more attractive.
Right. You will attract that.
Yeah, like I've seen people who are very like beautiful
women.
Oh
my God.
I've dated some beautiful women, and as soon as she opened her mouth, I was like, you are hideous.
Yeah. But see, they gotta open their mouth for you to know. That's the shit, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you're absolutely right. But the thing about, I don't even know how to call it. The only way I usually compare it when I have these conversations is when you compare it to like a car. Because the car is the easiest thing to say. You see a beautiful red or blue, whatever's your favorite color. You see a beautiful, clean, nice, brand new car with the brand new car smell. And then all of a sudden you turn the key to that bitch and it says, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
It means nothing now. It means nothing. You ain't shit. Because
that's it. It can be that fast.
It can be that fast. I've dated my whole life, because I am very visually motivated. I have dated some beautiful disasters in my life. Hell, I love my man, but at the beginning, he was a beautiful disaster. The only difference between him and every other mistake that I've dated is that we both looked in the mirror and was like, okay,
we need to fix this shit.
And you like me. And we figure this shit out, because if this shit that exists right now doesn't work, like I was hard-headed, I was stubborn, I was first of all, there are two types of people you don't ever want to date, and we both started dating each other: drug dealers and strippers, because those people make money so fast they don't give a fuck about you. And when those two personas started to date, we tried to leave each other so many times, even though we were so cool, because we were like, I really don't need shit in life. Like a person who can go into your place of business and walk out of there with 4 to 5 figures, capitalist society, you have a different mindset. And other than lady, if that young lady if she was looked the same way she looked, but paid, that man would have got it out fast.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
But
Very
money
Hey.
and the ability to be able to sit back and chill
Yeah.
on your life, like Dre said, will
Yeah.
motivate you. Some people are living with liars and bullshitters just because they paying
Just because they the lifestyle.
Yeah,
I'll
money
deal
is
with what I
another.
got to
It is
deal
another
with.
aspect. It is
Yeah.
another aspect. It's whatever you're bringing to the table that somebody is choosing is going to benefit them. Whether it be the women who just like to have, or the women or the men. Let me say both. It's both, yo.
Mhm.
The women or the men that sit out here and they just like to sit on the couch and just let their wife go to work and pay all the bills. And what does he do? He fucks her good, so she's
Right.
satisfied with
Exactly. Right.
it.
Right.
Works for
It
them and it hurts for
depends
them.
on what the
Nothing like
need is. It
Ain't
depends on what
nothing
the need
like
is.
broke. Sometimes I want my man to like get fired from his job for like 2 weeks. Just give me a pay period or some broke dick bag. Because when they fuck you with just dick and that's all they got,
That's all they got.
that's the best dick in the world. I won't lie. I don't
Hey
ever
Dre,
love a
Dre,
girl
is super
Yeah.
dick,
ever
super
again
dick with
in
a
my
cape
life.
on it.
With cape on it.
Broke dick
Exactly.
Super dick.
Broke dick is the best dick in this world, baby, because he fucking you with all he
All
got.
he got. Yep. Absolutely. You know, but it does come down to like
Hey.
it depends on what the need is, right?
Yeah,
Because
it is,
you know, I know someone who dealt with stuff, you know, over and over from different people and finally got down to the fact that I tolerate this stuff because he listens to me. And nobody ever does. And even when
Hey.
he argue with me, there's content in the argument that shows me that he listening. And so because mama didn't listen, dad didn't listen, right? And so there was a need there, and she was willing to tolerate all the other bullshit because that's what a hole was, right?
Yeah.
And we all have that. We all have something that we're trying to fill, and we have to learn to fill it for ourselves, right? Because now she's learning to fill that for herself.
What you settle for while you feel it.
Yeah.
Like B, we talked about a few weeks ago about how, like some men get into these situations with women or women get in these situations with these men where they're paying them and then they fly them out and they're like, well, I'm not gonna have sex with you.
Yeah, fuck you.
I feel like that's a really fucked up situation. You know, it's transactional. Like when I was living that kind of lifestyle, I understood it was transactional. I know this motherfucker looked like something from Tales from the Crypt, but he paid my phone bill for the last couple of months. So I'm gonna what Sexy Red say, bend that ass over.
Yeah, what you need. Yeah, because it is transaction. Right, you know that already.
Hey.
Sexy Red. Oh, you
Hey,
failed me, Harley.
We're gonna move on here on the show. Before we get to our last topic, Brian brought this up in the group, so I thought we chat about this real fast though. What would y'all pick? Which one would y'all pick though?
See, this is gonna be exactly along the lines we talking about too.
This is what we're talking. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know. So
she lost me. Okay, Carrie lost me at Don't Suck Dick. Hold on.
Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Reverse the roles too. Like reverse the roles. Like if it's
that's a good idea.
Put it as a man. Put it as whatever you want. Like you know.
So I'm gonna be honest because of my personal self. I will take a person that has amazing sex, and this is so sad. This is such a not shit answer. I will take a person that is great at sex because honestly, a single mother, I can ignore her kids and I can fuck the shit out of her. And more than likely, she doesn't have a lot of time in the day to be bothered with me. So I can continue to cheat and I can fuck around and cheat with a woman like Carrie and really be invested in a woman like Carrie, but be getting my dick sucked often by a woman like Kiara. And the type of person I was when I was dating, that was one of the reasons, that was how I knew that I love my man, because the way that I look at life, I have never thought that one person can have everything that I wanted. So I've always looked at life like I would have a nesting partner and I would have a sexual partner and I would have a vacationing partner. And I never thought that was going to be an issue until people made me realize like that's cheating. Harley, you can't date all three of these men. I get it. Cool. So I found a majority of that in one man, but then I also let him know like, but you still don't have everything that I need.
Right. There's some other needs that I need to get met.
Like and that's like these one of these memes like that is always my reason to promote polyamory, because there is not one person in this world that has everything that you need. Now, if you are a person who says this person has most of what I need and I don't want to engage in other relationship building, that's okay. But if you are a person, you can't wake up every day and complain to somebody about the same thing you've been complaining about for 3 years. You can't find somebody else to fill that hole. I have never nagged. I told Brian that I've never nagged a man ever in my life. I tell you what the hole is. I give you 30 days to fill the hole.
Certain amount of time to take care of it.
See, that's a good point right now. Now I'm gonna dive off of what Harley just said because I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like the thing about having to always be able to, have your options available for whatever you want is you lose a lot of discipline. I feel personally. I feel like you do lose a lot of discipline being able to satisfy your every single need at any single time of the day. And I mean, when you do meet somebody, there is adjustment that allows you to build characteristics of yourself that maybe you don't even know you have to fucking build. You know what I'm saying? Because I always use my relationship because this is the first relationship I've ever been in to where I finally calmed down the raging fucking bull that I've been my whole life. You're done? Oh, you doing this? Get the fuck. Everything is done. Throw it all away. I throw the whole world away if I had to. But this is the first, just like Harley said, I was one of my fuckers. Like, I didn't date around, like, date everybody, but I, like, listen, I like you for the, oh, you don't got that? Fuck it. I'm done. But she was the first one that I tried to do that I'm done shit, and she was like, no, you're not.
But
see, this is what I've learned with it. There's been a lot of areas in my life that, I thought I didn't need this, or I thought I needed this, or and it was way better for me to stop what I was doing because it was destructive. It was
destructive, right?
It wasn't getting me anywhere that I needed to be. So, like, to that point, I feel like you do need to be able to balance yourself out or be with somebody that can help balance yourself out. But you both, I said this shit a long time. I don't even know what show it was on, but you both have to make the conscious decision to say, I'm with you and you're with me, and that's what the fuck it is.
Yep.
We riding it out. Wedding rings or not. It doesn't have to be. Wedding is doesn't have to be. It just has to be a conscious decision that you flip that switch and say, we're together. Whatever the fuck goes down is what happened. Now, unless you do this, unless you do that.
Because everybody got deal breakers.
We here. That's where we at.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm
and like you said, it's part of the growth process, right? Because your relationships help you grow. And so you don't know you're crazy pants until you realize you're like, wait a minute, I am a little crazy pants.
Let me give you one more real quick. I know it's a quick topic. Another thing that made me realize that if you guys, I always say this shit, if you guys notice, like music and Pandora and Spotify and even Netflix and shit now, even fucking your computer, when you say, I want to get a dog, and the next fucking 15 pages is dogs and everything is trying to formulate you by what you speak onto the world, like Harley was saying. I like gingerbread cookies or whatever, and you're sitting there like, not all you have is gingerbread cookies around you, offering you gingerbread cookie fucking places.
But I also like chocolate chip cookies. But I just say that moment.
But you also, here's Charmel, but you also don't know that you also like peanut butter cookies because they ain't even
you never had none.
Environment no more.
They tried it.
And they're not even around you because you've been given is what you like and what you know. So there's not even the option. Like music is the biggest one. I like fucking Mary J. Blige, Tyrese, and Genuine. Now everything is formulated to fucking R&B. I have no idea what a rock song is. I've never even heard it because all my radio AI is giving me is rock, is R&B and shit like that. So now I have no idea how to discover what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of shit, man. It's a lot of shit if you keep just being able to, gratify yourself and everything that you think that you need your gratification in. Well, I'm not arguing it. I'm saying if it works.
No, I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying, like, I do see where the holes are, where you can't discover the shit that you may not even understand what you need. You don't see what could be better for you or more beneficial.
Absolutely.
I had to find balance, but you're right, Brian, because I had to find balance in consistently gratifying myself.
Yeah,
because I was in a place where I knew that the world would open up to me because like I said, I woke up one day and looked in the mirror and was like, oh, you got pretty privilege. The world fucks with you. People will give you what you want. There is a man in this world that will pay every bill that you got, knowing that you lay next to some other man every night. It won't touch you.
You're right.
There was a time in my life where there were men who paid me for the idea of possibly sleeping with me.
Wow.
And I was so drunk with that power that I didn't have to pull back and discipline myself. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the relationship that I'm in right now, is that even though I still gratify myself in certain ways, I am still very disciplined by the confines of our hierarchical monogamous relationship. Because even though we are polyamorous, we are the first.
You are your primary.
Yeah.
If he meets a woman that he really wants to have sex with, but I don't like her, he will not. And that is him exercising discipline.
Yeah.
And that's the same with me. Like, I met a girl, she was beautiful, y'all. She was beautiful. And he was like, I get a bad vibe off of her, babe. And I walked away from her. And I like, how she was beautiful.
Yeah, you got your own structure. Everybody got their own shit, bro. And there's not no one type of rule to work for everybody. And we figure that out in life right now. But it's just, you do need some kind of balance to understand that you can't just be willy-nilly fucking wilding out here and just thinking everything is going to be free living, van life and shit.
And it's learning, like, you know, as much as I believe in polyamory, because I counsel them, like, all the things, right, and all that. And I wouldn't say that I wouldn't be polyamorous, right? But like you said, because I do recognize also that we do get our needs met in different ways by different people, right? And so my boyfriend takes care of lots of needs, but there's some areas where he can't, and so I get that from my best friend, right? I know if I call him, he gonna be logical, and sometimes I just need to, like, ugly cry. He'll let me ugly cry, but he gonna respond to it different, right? Best friend gonna let me ugly cry, hug me up, she gonna stay in my ass, but she's still gonna, there's a difference there, right?
Oh, you mean girl best friend?
Yes, a female best friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why does that matter?
So that matters, yo. Niggas be trying to get it. That's why. Oh, come here.
As a woman, once you transition into like bisexuality, pansexuality, that don't even matter. The gender don't even matter, because
to men, let me tell y'all right now. I don't fuck women.
To
men, it matters. Even if it's a woman.
I know to men it does.
You don't
men,
know
it
how
still matters.
Trans with a woman. A woman will, it's okay, friend, her way into some pussy quick.
I believe it. But what I'm saying is, whether men or women that you're going to have the shoulder to cry on, niggas care. If they care about you, they definitely care. Nobody wants. I'm speaking as a man. There's no man who really cares about his woman, whether it be territorial, whether it be whatever you want to call it, whatever it is, whether it be love, honest.
I think that's how y'all built. That's just how y'all built.
You want your property. It is.
Yeah.
And if a guy, a true man, knows that a woman is getting the type of fucking attention that he is supposed to have for his woman, and she's getting it elsewhere. That's why I said best friend. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm fighting. And then you call Jacob, and he did it again. And Jacob's like, I know, sweetheart. Don't worry, just come over here. That's the mother. You hear about stories all the time. Motherfuckers ready to and then she fucking him on the side because he makes her feel good when it's always an option. It's an option. But it's like, even with a woman, if oh my girl, and then you're gonna go fuck her too. And I'm like, this is me. Who aren't you gonna fuck? Like, can't you get a dog? Like, come on, like, I don't got no way to turn. Like, I can't not worry about you fucking somebody if we have a argument that's definitely going to be had in our relationship. So that's what I'm saying. You have to have discipline, because you're always going to fucking, the longer you stay with somebody, the deeper the relationship, the deeper the connection, the deeper the fucking, the stuff that you get into, you're going to have problems. You're going to have arguments. You're going to hate that motherfucker. You're going to maybe break up and take a month to your mom's house and come back and say, baby, I miss you. I know we're going to work it out. But if you're trying to fucking bring somebody else into the picture every 5 minutes, you got somebody else, you're never gonna fucking figure it out. Because
and I know some people that done that, like they try to get the empty pieces met outside rather than figuring it out within the dynamic, right? Because that's an empty space, and y'all that's an inner thing. You don't need to be going outside picking off people just to fill that space. That space is empty because you need to fill it, and your mate not filling it because you need to fill it. Right?
That's or you might need to figure out if your mate is the one you need, if you need that shit feels so good. Like if they're not feeling it and it's that important for you,
then you need to walk away from that.
Then you might be in a wrong relationship. That's a possibility too.
That's very possible. Very, very possible.
It goes back to what Dre was talking about, just like filling it with yourself, though. Like yourself. Like,
you started us up, Dre. We over here going.
I sure did. Yeah, I was just about to move on. I was like, hey, in it. You guys are in it. All right, we're gonna tap into the last topic of the evening, man, and we're gonna wrap it up from here.
Busted for child neglect. Pics of daughter waxing adults. My opinion. What? Okay, I have many questions. First of all, what was this mother thinking to let her 5-year-old daughter wax vaginas? What? Yeah, Keisha couldn't come in to work today. She called out sick, so I'm gonna need you to fill in. You're gonna be working room 3. Grab some gloves and some hot wax and get to work. Yo, there are certain things that a kid should not have to look at, and this is one of them. Like, I want to know what the dad has to say about this, because this is insane. And then the article said that this kid worked an 8-hour shift and waxed 24 hoo-has. Let me tell you, if I was a woman and I had an appointment to get a waxing and I show up and there's a 5-year-old waxing, me and my hairy vagina are out of there. We're going to another salon. There's no way I'm dropping my jaws for a 5-year-old. 24 women thought that this was a good idea. Wow, really? Let me tell you something. This sounds like a setup. Big time. Like, I'm picturing Chris Hansen and his camera crew popping into the room while you're like this, talking about, did you think this was normal to have a 5-year-old waxing you? She looked 18? Nope. Grab your slice of pizza and your Mike's Hard Lemonade and head on out. The cops are waiting for you and the proprietor of this establishment. Y'all are all going to jail.
Okay. That was crazy.
That was
Brian
crazy.
shared that with me.
Oh,
Brian shared that video with me, and I thought that was insane for a little 5-year-old girl to be out here waxing other grown women vaginas.
Baby, that's my
With her
first time
parents.
seeing this.
My first time too.
Somebody has.
Oh, y'all never saw this?
No,
This is all over the
first of
place.
all, let me tell you something. As a very young gay, that is not the job for me. I had to figure out my life on the rainbow. But if my mama had me waxing pussies at 5, do y'all know who the hell I would be right now?
Oh, shut up!
Had pussy in my face at 5.
That's what I'm saying. I was one of the first things I said. She gonna grow up eating the box immediately.
Let me tell you
I
something.
tell you.
I already had the frizzles from Miss Frizzle at a very young age, so I knew it was wrong. If my mama had vagina in my face at 5. Like, first of all, we just got to understand that a childhood is necessary, and a lot of us have not had childhoods where we can like play. Like, that's right. I have been privileged to have a childhood where I played. I did not, and this is probably Black people trauma, but I didn't wear a pair of shorts until the age 18. I was a child. My mama didn't play that. I wore those gauchos. I would them old Navy joints that come down past your thighs. I didn't wear short shorts until I was 18, a freshman at Alcorn State University, trying out for the cheerleading team. That was my first pair of booty shorts, and I was excited. I became a teacher in 2015 and watched some of my 8th graders come in with 30-inch wigs that would rival my own at the time, and a full face of makeup that I, as a woman of 30-something years old, would not feel comfortable with on. A lot of these women are living their younger years vicariously with their children, very young children, and that's crazy. A lot of these people are feeling the weight of this capitalist society and putting that weight on children, and that's crazy. That's sick, bro.
This is what I got from it, real just to give you guys a little insight. I don't. This is just my opinion on it. I feel like my man Eric G in our group, he said this the best. This was the stupidest smart idea that anybody ever fucking had. All right. First off, the story is the mom owns the waxing shit or whatever. All right. So it looks like, if I just give the benefit of the doubt, she's dumb for sure. She's dumb. It looks like she was over there trying to, make it look good. Like, hey, I got my daughter in here learning the family business immediately, as early as this age right here, and she's starting off early. I don't think she really.
That's what I think it was too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think she really thought it through.
She didn't think it all the way through at all.
But she posted on TikTok.
She couldn't have thought it all the way through.
That baby could be making appointments. That baby
There's a thousand things she can
that
learn.
baby could be sweeping up the hair that you rip. Like, my mother was a
Yeah.
hairstylist. My mother never made me stand on a chair and start learning how to braid hair. I was picking up hair. I was checking people in. I would give them refreshments when she was running late. There is a way to help your child be a part of the family business.
And that's why we said earlier.
There are other body parts that she should be able to wax. I'm sure she waxes other things too.
But that's why we said earlier.
You could have got.
Give me some of that. A little bit of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, y'all. That's why. This is. One more time. This is why we said it earlier. That everybody is different. Yo, people, personalities, and mental capabilities, and motherfuckers. It's not always, what the fuck is the word? Like menacing, or it's not always like evil and shit. Yeah, malicious. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. There's not always malicious intent behind these situations. Like sometimes motherfuckers just ain't. They just ain't screwed too tight. Yeah, it's just that's what it is. Up to the top floor. I think that I think she was trying to trying to make it look like we got a family business. Look at my daughter. She can do this too. We starting her. And she didn't think about that shit. And she got her baby in there looking at gross gray vaginas all damn day. And then she looked monstrous.
She might have had some nice vaginas in there. You don't know.
It could be. But that poor
she shouldn't have to look at none of them.
Nah, man. That was a stupid decision by that mom.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she's gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
She absolutely is.
Unfortunately, gonna pay for it.
Sure somebody called CPS.
Oh yes, no, she got locked up. She's locked up now.
And unfortunately, every vagina she waxed counts as a count against
child negligence. It was, and it was something else. It was like because I'm pretty sure it was some kind of like child labor enforcement or something like that.
Well, that too,
yeah. I mean. She made a bad decision, man. And I kind of in this situation, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a part of me that's a little sympathy that I usually don't have on mostly cases. Yeah. I'm like, I really think that she was trying to. Yeah. She had good intent, I think, but she just really did something stupid, and it's that easy to fuck up. Not fucking trying to get likes on everything in the fucking planet,
bro.
Mother was because I know people don't want to say that this matters, but it does. And do we know how mother was? Because a lot of kids are being born and not being raised because of the age that their mother had them. Like my first 3 siblings were just born. Yeah, the last 3 of us were raised because my mother had the first 3 under 30.
Right. Yeah,
this woman was old enough to go and get her own business,
but we were raised.
Yeah, because she went and got her own business. I mean, she had to have some kind of sense. I mean, she got her own waxing business. It was in a fucking establishment. So I don't know, man. I don't know too much about like all her history and stuff like that. The only thing I know is that she picked up her phone and took pictures of her daughter, the little daughter with the fucking lady's leg, the lady too, legs up in the air. Yeah, and it's just horrible.
Horrible ain't the word. She gonna be seeing a. She's gonna be seeing a whole lot of pussy in her nightmares.
She definitely is.
I don't want nobody to be fast talking because, like, when I think of wax, me and my wax lady talk about some of the most intimate shit. I wouldn't want nobody's baby down there because we talk the way we talk to our wax lady. Like, I don't even want the baby in a room for some of these conversations.
Right.
Stupid decision.
Yeah, really stupid decision, man. But also great episode here again on Beyond 11:30, man. For real. Like,
all right.
I don't know what's up with that one though. All right, man. Great show once again. We're gonna go around the room. Brian, Harley, and Chanel, once again, thank you for coming through here on Beyond 11:30, episode 6. We got 2 more episodes to go to wrap up the season, episode 7 and 8. Hope you guys join us for this. Whoever want to go first, let the people know where they can catch you at, follow you at, and check you out.
Listen, man, I definitely want to just say this real quick. We started this show off talking about some real shit, man. I mean, we've been talking about real shit the whole time, but just listen, man. If I'm not a doomsday prepper or none of that shit, or whatever, but honestly, I really would recommend everybody just pay attention, yo. I tell my kids that all the time. Pay attention. I almost hit this guy. Coming out of Walmart today, my son in the car with me. I pulled the fuck out the parking spot. My whole car out of the parking spot. And this motherfucker just walking back of the car while I'm still backing. I mean, literally. Sometimes you don't see the car backing up and he's almost out.
But
I
Your
was
ass was out.
out,
Yeah.
and him and his son walking with earphones in his ear. Pay attention, man.
Attention.
That shit could have been, even if I went to jail and everything happened to me bad, I'm like, oh, crying. I still would have murdered him and his son if I didn't pay attention and look around and shit. And a perfect opportunity to teach my son. But there's a lot going on in the world right now. Please pay attention to your kids. Please pay attention to your families, and really start questioning. Really start questioning what's important for you. What's important for you, not nobody else, not society. What the fuck is important for you? Because I think we're coming to a different age, and things are going to be a lot different in these next 5 years. I firmly believe that shit.
I think so too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new other than coming up the pipeline that I didn't mention already. I will say this though, along the lines of what Brian said, like we need to start becoming more efficient. One of the people that were in the comments earlier talking about how dumb we've become because of how smart all of this is. We need to learn some things. If you and your children don't know how to make a fire without having to strike that stove, if you don't know how to create warmth for your family, if you don't know how to create some form of shelter, this might sound corny as fuck. If you don't know how to pitch a tent, to this where you need to live in it. Everybody's phone that had a specific carrier today was not able to communicate. You need to know other forms of communication. You need to know other forms of survival other than digital forms of survival. And you need to check your energy, because what I'm realizing right now, 5 years, it's not even going to be about the sufficiency of what you can do outside of your body, and it's going to be about the energy that you emote. Because I feel like a lot of us are about to be inside of our homes. I tell people all the time, we are in the hallway of our Jetsons era, and we are about to be and in our homes. And if you are in your home, but this is a horrible place, you are going to die.
Go crazy.
That's a big thing. Yeah, that is a big thing for sure.
Get your shit together here, and if you want to do that, follow Auntie Harley, because I tell you how to do it.
Come on, man.
Tell you how to do it.
That's definitely a big
shit.
Because eventually you're gonna be left alone with yourself, and if this is a lonely
place,
this is a
chaotic place, and I'm gonna have to second and third that, and say the same, right? Because your mental, emotional wellness is at stake, and those things, if not functioning well, you will die.
You will
die. I'm telling you will die. And so, I agree with Brian. Like, why be aware? I think we should be aware, not to the level of your detriment, to like I said,
not paranoia.
There's shit going on in the world, right? And y'all know I get on here and I'm like, I don't know what happened, because I'm focusing in my area, right? If it's something that I have control over, I'm gonna work it. I can't help the systems. I can't break the systems, but I can help one person at a time sitting in front of this computer, right? And so I'm a grassroots it, right? Because that's who I care about, is the people, right? Yeah. And so I encourage everybody, empower yourself with knowledge and knowledge of self, and you got to get in here. You got to get in here. All the holes we've been talking about, all this whole like, there are holes that are missing in your heart, in your spirit. Yeah, and stuff. Hit Harley up. Hit me up.
First, me being a real therapist, I tell people I'm not licensed.
Yeah, but that don't mean you ain't knowledgeable.
Yeah, I'm
gonna make you cry. I'll be real. I'll be dead ass with you.
I'm a listener. I'll make you cry. It's all necessary. I'm a listen.
It's all necessary.
It's horrible, and then we're gonna send you Chanel, and we good.
There you go. Like, we got tag team. And then
the link, and you gonna come on Beyond 11:30 and talk about it.
There you go.
Most definitely. Knowledge is definitely power, though. So you gotta figure out something else, because when shit does hit the fan, you want to be prepared and don't want to be looking like lump. So yeah,
I like that.
Another great episode once again. Thank everyone for tuning in here on Beyond 11:30. We're back next Thursday.
This time, y'all.
It's all right.
No good.
Just fine.
We were talking mad shit today. It was good. It was really good.
I know
really
it was, man. I was like, man.
Hold on, let me
uh,
get in there. Hold on.
episode 7 will be back. Returns next Thursday. Until then, you guys, man, definitely stay safe, man. Love on each other. Love yourself, definitely for real. For myself, Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, Harley, Charnel, and Brian B. Until next time, you guys, man. We are out, man. Peace.
Peace out, y'all. Good
Peace.
night.